Jeff Bezos was he of Amazon, right? Was asked. So Jeff, what advice do you give your marketing department now in this age of disruption? What advice do you give? And Bezos looked at him and he said, well, I give them the same advice that I gave them on day one. And the interviewer said, so what was that? And he said, search for that which is constant, which is kind of like counterintuitive, right? Search for that which is constant. And the interviewer said, like what? And he said, well, the human need to belong would be a good place to start. And I think all of us need to belong to something bigger than ourselves, right? And when we implement, just like you're doing in Amitié Lane, right? I mean, it's, yes, you're doing these wonderful gifts that you do, but at the same time, I actually checked out this morning before we came online. You are now up to a staggering 3,000, very close to anyway, 3,000 giving impacts in our world. And those impacts range from all sorts of different things. And, so there are lots and lots of great reasons to do it. I mean, yes, it makes a difference. And most people think, oh, it's all about making a difference to the quote unquote beneficiary. But when we need to move to is this making a difference to us? Mm. That's the crucial understanding.
The thing I love about all that you're talking about, Paul, is that often when people think about giving, they're thinking about the giving of a gift or, an exchange of a physical item. But, what we're talking about today is, as humans, when we give, it could be the giving of a compliment. It could be the gift of, education for somebody else around the world who maybe can't afford it. And I guess that's, for me and for you and for a lot of people around the world now, it's really important that we do see giving as something that we just do naturally in every part of our lives.
I was having this thought the other day. People sometimes say, well, I'm lost. I need to go find myself. And what we tend to do, I think, when we hear that is, oh, okay, we've got to go inside ourselves. And I understand that thought. I really do understand it. But what I think is that instead of looking inward, we need to look outward, right? Because outward is by definition bigger than ourselves. And so when we see this thing that is bigger than ourselves, all of a sudden, that we see it differently. We create different entities. For example, in Amitié Lane, and feel great about it, and feel even better than what might otherwise be a self-serving reason. Is that a nicer entity? Because, whenever we buy something from you, something else happens, right? Something great. Of course it is. Amitié Lane is something to which we can belong